and welcome to Electronic Game Information and our exclusive coverage of the Level Up 2020 Gaming Convention in beautiful downtown Las Vegas. But first, the news. Questions remain as to whether or not the update for The Witcher 3 for the Nintendo Switch, which allows cross-saves with the PC version, is fair, because I spent almost 200 hours playing through it on the PlayStation 4, and I would like the opportunity to move that New Game Plus file to some more powerful hardware. Full disclosure, I have bought all of the Witcher games twice. In related news, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice has received no significant updates recently. This includes all versions of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Wolfenstein Youngblood developers Arcane should have made only one Blazkowicz daughter instead of two, and made Wolfenstein Youngblood a fun Wolfenstein game that everyone loves. Maybe they'll finally re-release Wolfenstein 2008. Wouldn't that be something, Alan? Alan? Wouldn't that be something if they re-released Wolfenstein 2008?
Robby, I can hear you. Are you talking to me?
Absolutely, Alan, I can hear you. We are talking about Wolfenstein 2008, the long forgotten Wolfenstein game with a slight open world vibe, kind of a village that you explore, and you kind of spoke out from the village center, and you take on different missions in different sort of planes of reality. Developed by Raven Software.
This is a stream. We're streaming about Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein 2008, Alan. We are talking about Wolfenstein.
Can you see me?
Yes.
Hi, Robby.
Hey, Alan. Well, you're on the mean streets there. You're on the Las Vegas downtown, old Las Vegas.
It's
such an exciting place to be at this time, and I'd like to get your feedback on Wolfenstein 2008.
2008 was a great year for Wolfenstein. The guns were, the weapons in the game were bigger than It was a fun game, I think. I didn't play it. Back to you in the studio. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Alan. Turning to A Plague Tale: Innocence, you'll be happy to know that all of the murder that I committed during my roughly 12-hour playthrough did not seem to affect the ending of the game nor the evolution of my young brother Hugo into a being who controls the rats now. That's a special EGI. Hats off to games that don't try to teach us about the consequences of our actions. Train Simulator 2020 got off to a good start. The humble bundle offering of the base game plus a number of expansions for $12 was a good deal I could not pass up. Unfortunately, my first attempt at making the West Palm Beach to Miami airport run was cut short when I didn't heed a signal that wanted me to switch tracks, and I ended up derailing an entire CSX freight train. And finally, we say goodbye to February's Games with Gold. What? Alan, would you like to share some of your thoughts about February's Games with Gold?
Yes, Robby, I can hear you. It's February Games with Gold, and I'm tired of it, and I'm ready to come I want to go in the car and go home.
Alan, I'm sorry to hear that you're not feeling too well, but I do want to know what your thoughts are with the February Games with Gold lineup. It seemed like it was a mixed bag at best.
Can you ask it in a different way that I understand it?
There was 4 games on the Games with Gold lineup. You had Fable Heroes, you had Star Wars Battlefront, that's the original Star Wars Battlefront for the Xbox. You had TT Isle of Man.
Got it.
And Call of Cthulhu, of course. The Call of Cthulhu game is a wonderful action-adventure game that takes place in the Cthulhu mythos that allows you to explore some of the spaces that some people may have read about or in H.P. Lovecraft books, or maybe played through as characters in the pen and paper comics.
And how do you want me to feel about it?
Well, I would like to know your thoughts because as we're sort of moving from February
I told
to
you
March,
about it.
we want to maybe consider what the difference is between the February Games with Gold and the March Games with Gold, which what those might be and what we could expect going forward.
I don't know the difference, and I don't know about the different games that you said, and I'm done doing it.
What's wrong?
It's tired. It's tired out, and I need to not. I don't know how to. You asked me so many interesting questions, and I'm just not doing the show justice, or I'm not doing you justice by my answers they're bad tonight. So
well, my feeling is that my feeling towards the Games with Gold, the February Games with Gold, Alan, if I can just give you a little bit of a lead-in to maybe get your chemicals kind of rolling through the system, trying to get things sort of fall into place.
And I need a water and a Tums.
The Fable Heroes and Star Wars Battlefront sort of seem to me to be the weaker of the 4 Games with Gold, and your Call of Cthulhu and your TT Isle of Man who seem to be on the stronger end. So I'm wondering if people that are rushing out to get that, to finally get their last grasp of those games before they leave the Games with Gold program.
Right.
If they might be considering the TT Isle of Man or Call of Cthulhu more than the Fable Heroes.
Was the Heroes. It was not the better of the games, and the Cthulhu game was the one that was my choice. Back to you, Robby. I love you.
Okay, Alan. This just in. We have an EGI exclusive.
Can I sit?
We have an EGI exclusive. Alan, would you care to guess what our EGI exclusive might be?
It's something. It's a receipt that you kept from a game that you bought, and you got a good. You got more. They didn't charge. You returned the game, but they actually let you keep it. I don't know what it is.
Alan, this is a EGI exclusive look back at Warhammer: Shadow of the Horned Rat.
Oh.
The often overlooked PlayStation 1 real-time strategy game.
Okay, this is EGI. Oh, this just in. We got an EGI exclusive new Warhammer game. It's a top-down.
Alan, let me help you out there. Warhammer: Shadow of the Horned Rat, players take control of Commander Morgan Bernhardt as he leads his mercenary army called the Grudgebringers, named after his magical flame sword.
The sword.
The Grudgebringer.
The Grudgebringer.
The storyline focuses on the mercenary general's quest to stop a Skaven plot led by Greyseer Thanquol and his pawn, the possessed orc war boss, Urget Ripeye.
Is this a story or
Paymaster? Al, you're the Warhammer expert, so I wonder your thoughts on this sort of it's a PlayStation 1 port of a PC Warhammer RTS.
And this is the main story for tonight?
This is an EGI exclusive special look back at Warhammer: Shadow of the Horned Rat.
Okay, Warhammer: Shadow of the Horned Rat is about Greyhorn the sword.
No, it is about players take control of Commander.
I'm trying so hard to
Morgan Bernhardt as he leads his mercenary army called the Grudgebringers, named after his magical sword.
The Grungebringer.
The Grungebringer, exactly. So if you're a fan of battlefield control, if you're a fan of real-time strategy games like Total War, you might be interested in the PC version of Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat. This is an EGI exclusive look back at Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat for the PlayStation 1, which was much less well received. So if you're considering the Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat,
it's a PC game on PlayStation.
It's a PlayStation 1. It was exclusive to the PlayStation 1, except for the PC version.
Back to you, Robby.
Back to you, Alan. Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat retains its mediocrity on the PlayStation.
So it's not good.
That is a quote from GameSpot's Hugh Sterbakov. No, that was Trent Ward. No, it was Hugh.
Let me do the next story.
Hold on.
Back to you.
We have some exclusive EGI. Hold on. Retains its mediocrity. Retains its mediocre on the PlayStation.
This just
contradicting Trent Ward,
Robby.
GameSpot's Hugh Sterbakov. So it was either Trent or Hugh.
Robby, how much longer is the episode? Because
we have some exclusive footage that we got queued up of Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat on PlayStation 1. So let's quickly just take a look, Alan.
Okay.
And let's get your real-time comments here.
Okay, what is this? This is Warhammer?
Shadow of the Horned Rat. You take control of Commander Morgan Bernhardt.
And the sword is moving.
Grudgebringer.
But who's moving it? That's you.
That's the Commander Morgan Bernhardt.
And that's me. I'm Commander Morgan Bernhardt, and I'm the swordbringer. And the mouse has been. So this is a PC game, and that's like the mouse. It looks like the sword, and it moves around the screen, and then you select on. It looks like you select an army. The gameplay offers little.
Following a raid on the tower of a
sorcerer.
Look
around, trying. Oh no, I get it. You get placed right. Okay, yes, my lord. And who is that?
A Skaven Greyseer named Thanquol.
And that's the Grudgebringer talking.
No, that's
okay. There's
Minhir. Thanquol.
Okay, I saw fire, but nothing happened. And then that's Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat. And I don't see the. Okay, they fight each other, and then and this seems like a pretty fun game. It's a game about 2,000 graphics is plenty to be desired as well. So
that was from GameSpot year 2000 when it was released on the PlayStation 1. The PC version came first, but they decided to port it to the PlayStation 1, which is why we're seeing these kind of slightly different, maybe slightly downgraded textures from what you would expect from a otherwise crystal clear custom engine PlayStation RTS.
And Warhammer's is not a video game; it's a real game where you paint a toy. And the PlayStation 1 is old because they're already on 5.
Well, they're on 4, and 5 is coming out, but it's good to take some time off to kind of look back and see how far we've come. Because if you look at some of these newer real-time strategy games, your Halo Wars 2. You might think, well, that's not that impressive. But if you look back at Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat, and you think, well, Commander Bernhardt, you can't even tell Commander Bernhardt from Captain Thanquil.
Even though it's night out, it's still bright as day in Las Vegas, and I want to go home. I don't like Las Vegas anymore. I thought it was different.
Well, Alan, we are here covering of course, the Level Up Expo, which has come and gone, but there's still plenty of topics to discuss. There's still plenty of games to kind of think about. We've seen plenty of. Let's take some calls and let's see what other people have to say about the Level Up Expo and Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat, or maybe it's follow-up Warhammer Dark Omen for the PlayStation 1.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the air with Electronic Gaming Information. We are talking about expos, we are talking about Las Vegas, and we are talking about Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Rat.
In my head.
I actually have no idea what's going on. I'm with my friends Ian and Marissa, and we're watching for the first time. And we're really intrigued, so we wanted to call to talk to you guys because we're a little confused.
This is a video game talk show where we talk about games both new and old, and we have currently right now a special look back at a old classic real-time strategy game, Warhammer: The Shadow of the Horned
First-time
Rat.
viewers of EGI will notice it's a very interesting show hosted by Robby Ratcliffe.
And special correspondent Alan Resnick, and we are here live in beautiful
Vegas.
And we are live.
Speaking of Alan, he looked kind of upset. Is he okay? Like he looks like he needs some water.
Alan, if I'm hearing the caller right, the caller would like to know what's going on with you. If you're not feeling well, and maybe the caller would also like to know your thoughts on the Sterbakov versus Trent Ward controversy that was dusted up in the GameSpot GamePro.
I'll address the
reviews of Warhammer.
I will address the Warhammer controversy first, and then I'll go back to the question about how I'm feeling.
Okay. Cool.
In terms of how things have shaken out with the Warhammer controversy, it just seems like Trent Ward was in the wrong. Secondly, I'd like to move on to how I'm feeling. I am tired. And I do want to. I've been up for too long. The fun in Vegas is real, what they've said. It is just maybe the most fun town in the whole state. And I don't like it because I thought I overestimated how much fun I liked. And apparently I like a very small amount of fun. That being said,
because you're too tired.
It's making me too tired because I've been up for way too long and I want to go. I love Robby and I didn't want to disappoint him, but I have... Once again, I've let him down. Back to you, Robby.
Caller, if I could if I can kind of just take the wheel a little bit and steer it back towards the Warhammer conversation, I'd like to read you a bit of a couple sentences from a review of Warhammer: Shadow of the Horned Rat. Reviewing the Windows version, a next-generation critic said that while the interface does not allow for precision control of units, the 3D battlefields instigate plenty of thoughtful strategy.
Okay.
I'm gonna go down.
You should keep talking because I don't know how to understand.
He criticized the graphics and long load times and summarized that Warhammer delivers a unique strategic challenge, but that with the game's awkward interface and drab graphics, you may find that you have to work at enjoying it. And I do think that is always an issue with these games, these older games when you're going back. You do want to appreciate the historical context of the game, and you want to appreciate how far we've come, but sometimes going back can be a little difficult, especially when you're looking at a kind of battlefield map that isn't as clear as Halo.
And I have acid reflux, and we're here for the Level Up convention.
Thank you for your call.
Okay. Thank you.
And we have another caller on the air. Caller, hello. You're here with us at Electronic Game Information and our coverage of the Level Up 2020 Game Expo. We've just covered a great deal of Warhammer: Shadow of the Horned Rat history and controversy. So if I might get your thoughts on the Wolfenstein 2008 that we brought up earlier in the show, and maybe we can get that going.
Well, I haven't played too much of Wolfenstein 2008, but from what I've seen out and about in the wild...
Alan, can you please caller, hold on for a second. Alan, please walk back into the frame so we can see you. We know you're there. We know you're okay. We do take out insurance policy on the show.
Sorry,
so
Robby.
We want to make sure that we have to be able to see you at all
Robby.
time. Now, Wolfenstein 2008, of course, is often overlooked. And it is often forgotten. You can't even buy Wolfenstein 2008 on Steam. Because they took it down. Some licensing issues with Raven Software and id Software, and I'm guessing some of the people that might have been, asked to...
Raven Software was such an underrated company.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with the Hunter the Reckoning games, Robby?
Absolutely familiar with Hunter the Reckoning. Hunter the Reckoning.
Robby knows every game.
Multiplayer action RPGs. You can play. It's a party game. It's a have your friends over and go on a quest game. If you're a fan of Hunter the Reckoning, the pen and paper tabletop game, or if you're just a fan of multiplayer gauntlet style games,
Robby knows every game.
You can hook up four.
Period.
You can hook up 4 controllers to your Xbox.
Oh,
remember those
so
Xboxes, Alan?
I told you he
had 4 controller ports.
My hair hurts.
Yeah,
So call
I know,
it. If
I know
can
right
get
now
your
my
thoughts,
players
your
throughout
great,
the
your
Elliot
best memories of
watching.
Hunter of the Reckoning on the Xbox or the PlayStation 2 version, or even the sequel Hunter of the Reckoning 2, which was
I
just on
have
the
to
Xbox.
say, playing the original version on the GameCube is actually my fondest memories.
Me too.
Hello, Robby.
Did it come out on the GameCube, Alan?
I don't know. I thought it did.
All right. Well, thank you for your call. Thank you for reminding us that there might have been a
Thank you, Robby.
Hunter the Reckoning, and we do have some exclusive footage that we are going to show you of our wonderful trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. You got to say Nevada, and we are going to watch that. This is Robby and Alan reporting to you live from the it's the Strip, and we are here reporting live. We're so excited to be in Las Vegas, and we are just got in town. Well, we aren't going to go to the expo quite yet. We're going to take in the sights and the sounds of this remarkable classic American city. It's a classic American city in every sense of the word. And of course, when they say when you're in Vegas, go to the casinos, go to the shopping centers, go to all the resorts, see how big and crazy things can be, how the level of human ambition here, the scale of it is absolutely remarkable.
I've only been in Las Vegas for moments, just mere moments, but I'm already having such a wonderful time. Robby said we could have fun, and I am looking forward to fun. She's given me $20 to do with what I please, and I promised I wouldn't get into any trouble, and I won't. I love you, Robby, and I promise to behave.
We're having a great... just in Las Vegas could be the most terrifying place on the planet.
Wrong. I think everything in Las Vegas is better than in the place where we're from.
It seems to be the worst circle of hell. It's obviously everyone here is a demon, and everyone here comes because they have their lives are filled with sin, and sin is everyone in Las Vegas goes straight to hell.
What's up? Las Vegas! Las Vegas! Las Vegas!
It's the worst place I think I've ever been in my entire life, and I just ready to thought we came here looking for some sort of American dream. We have instead found a sort of warped mutant version of reality that exists only in the
with my best friend Robby, and
that springs.
There are video games everywhere, Robby.
Like corpse stench out of
Robby.
The desert in the middle of.
There are video games everywhere.
Oh my God, Robby! Las Vegas is awesome. They all have sex. There's a big dog and a little kid. Everyone is on drugs, and this is like the coolest place I've ever been. Oh my God! I've literally made more friends in the past couple minutes than I've made in my entire life, and it is the most fun ever!
And we are back with the arts. We have a wonderful stack of art sent in by viewers, and we are going to dive right in right now because there are some wonderful pieces here. Here is a wonderful drawing by Ashley H. It says, "You are the Bird King. You can do anything." Of course, last week we covered the Revenge of the Bird King for the Nintendo Switch. It was a very intense coverage. It was a deep dive into what makes Revenge of the Bird King special, what makes it great. Alan, what do you think of this Revenge of the Bird King fan art with me as the Bird King? You could see. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it.
Alan, what Ashley H. drew this wonderful picture of the Revenge of the Bird King. You can do anything, Alan, if you put your mind to it.
Absolutely. Ashley H., thank you so much for your dedication to EGI. Wow, what a treat.
Benjamin Blayholtz has sent in this amazing image of course, the Bird King over here, and the creature that I devised for a project that is currently postponed, and another bird in the middle. Benjamin Blayholtz, Alan, what do you? Let's get some feedback. With the viewers have spent the time to make this art so that we can kind of look at it. Benjamin Blayholtz made this wonderful.
Robby has made a show that demands to be watched, and you did it, and you drew it, and the show. You're a friend of the show.
Thank you, Benjamin Blayholtz. You are a friend of the show. So is Ashley H. Alan. Ashley H. is also a friend of the show.
So is Ashley H.
These are all friends that watch the show with us. That they're here with us in spirit. Sometimes they are here with us in voice, and sometimes they are here with us in art, like this wonderful piece by Nacho Cheese. Nacho Cheese is us driving through down the highway to the city. Where you had such an interesting experience, and maybe someday somebody will draw their interpretation of what happened to you.
I had so much fun, and now it's time to stop doing it. I'm sorry for.
And there's us, and there's there's the Eiffel Tower and the Space Needle and the Castle one.
Beautiful drawing by.
Oh, okay. Let's move on to Laura Lynn Leak, friend of the show. Laura Lynn Leak has delivered this amazing image of Philip, the strange child who lives on rooftops in the project
First-time
that
viewers of the
we
show
currently
won't
have.
know what this is. But
On
Robby
hold.
made up a beautiful video game, and then we didn't. There's a big snag in the plan, and now the game is.
And Laura
closed.
Lynn Leak has written some dialogue for Philip here. This is unofficial dialogue for Philip, but let's just go ahead and dive right in. Do you dream? Do you dream, Philip? That's me. Has many strange and fanciful dreams, but seldom do my parents listen to my tales. Oh, but they are such wonderful dreams. I whisper them to myself as I skip along the rooftops. Tra-la-la. But you strange outsiders, let me share with you the secret dreams Philip hides inside his heart. What a secret bond of trust. Oh, such bliss. Last night I dreamt I walked upon a mountain the shape of a man, or perhaps upon a man as tall and as vast as a mountain. Isn't that silly? I walked and sang and walked until at last I gazed upon that craggy visage.
Robby, you should make
Half shrouded in mists above me, his high, mighty brow furrowed in some dark torment, moist and dripping with anguish.
This reminds
Yet his eyes, oh, his eyes, deepest and blackest of tunnels that burned and beckoned me forward. Perhaps you may find me incautious if I tell you what I did next. Oh, should I tell you? But suddenly I found myself clinging to the rocky prow, gazing into their depths, and what next? Oh, what next? I whistled. Ha ha ha, silly Philip, and you know what I heard? Can you guess what? And then it cuts off. Because it's like in a game, sometimes the dialogue boxes kind of cut off the end.
Robby, this is the game that Robby made up, and it makes Robby so much happier than any of life's pleasure.
Here's another it's a hot rod. It's, we ended up taking a sedan, but here's a hot rod that maybe Alan and me are driving to the expo.
It's Tesla.
It's not. It is a Tesla. It's a good eye.
Robby, I can't.
And what? And we only have a couple more, Alan. So here's a drawing from, of course, friend of the show, Grace Toscano. The Tesla was brought in by Nathan Vegetable, who fucked everything up. Grace Toscano has drawn me. I don't need lights to drive. And there you are in the background, Alan. There you are, kind of shrouded in darkness, not like you are now, Alan. Just bathed in light and having a wonderful time covering.
Robby, I got sick somehow, and I don't feel so good. And
I'm
sick.
Level Up 2020.
Convention 21.
And one final piece, this of course comes from Nico. Nico has sent in a drawing of me and my friend Alan sleeping in the desert night.
Let's do that. Let's go to sleep, and I'll go back.
We'll go to Alan.
Let's get back in the car.
Sleep is.
I want to sleep with you.
We'll slap what? And, of course, Alan, we have the questions now. We went through all the art, and now we got the questions. So let's get to the questions. Sent in by viewers, sent in by our viewers, our audience. It's wonderful questions that we don't get around to covering everything about the world of video games, so it's nice to go and go back and see what kind of questions we may have missed. Alan, why don't you give us a start?
Okay, it's the letters.
It's the letters.
This question comes from KP Sentai. Friend of the show. Would you online play with me in Animal Crossing's New Horizon? KP Sentai, yes.
Yes, KB Sentai, yes. If we can figure out a way to do it where we're fair and we can do it. So thank you, KP Sentai. Doctor Who 42. This is from Instagram. Has asked EGI with Robby, what is your favorite DOS game? And of course, I'm going to have to go with Veil of Darkness. Veil of Darkness is, of course, the action RPG that is a kind of gothic, twisted tale of a man who crash lands in an Eastern European mountain town and is immediately thrown into a twisted tale of werewolves and vampires, and the intro sequence has a bat exploding into guts on an airplane window.
Very cool.
Very cool. Alan, what question for you?
What was the question?
You have them.
Gabalicious434 says, I need a good name for mine. Island and Animal Crossing New Horizon. People want to know about Animal Crossing. Do you guys have any suggestions? Yes. My suggestion would be to call it Robby Island.
It sounds kind of like Robin Island. which is the island where Nelson Mandela was in prison. So, might want to consider something else.
I'm going to name my island Robby Island after Robby Raccoon, not Nelson Mandela.
Melvana Cha, the rest of the name is cut off. We've covered Battle Monsters, and this is true. We have covered a great deal of Battle Monsters, but what about its PS1 sequel, Killing Zone? Alan, you're the Killing Zone expert. Why don't you take it away?
Can you restate the question?
Melly, would like to know about Killing
Just
Zone.
About it?
Yep.
Killing Zone was
the sequel to Battle Monsters.
Right.
Battle Monsters was, of course, a multi-tiered 2D fighting game with a lot of characters.
Yes.
And Killing Zone was a different game, but it was the spiritual follow-up, and it was in 3D.
Yes, it was very... so Killing Zone was a spiritual follow-up to Battle Monsters, and it was similar in a lot of ways, but it added the third dimension of the Z-depth for depth, because it was a 3D game. Here's a question from Marco Hates You. What is your favorite smell? I don't know. My favorite smell is probably going to be Robby. Back to you, Robby.
All right. Catherine from, and then it's a storm emoji, and then a fingernail painting emoji. Catherine from would like to know, what is your opinion on the classic Wii title, Elebits, and the different Elebits that are involved in the gameplay? Alan, I'm a big fan of Elebits. I imagine that you are also a big fan of Elebits. For those of you who are uninformed, Elebits is a game where you use the Wii remote to pick up objects in the house and throw it up and uncover the Elebits, and then collect the Elebits. And the Elebits are used to power the house.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Elebits.
So if you're looking for an interesting way to kind of toss things around and turn on lights and maybe get the refrigerator started, then you might consider Elebits for the Nintendo Wii. And the follow-up on DS.
Yes, both the Elebits games are my favorite games. So I'm going to read a question here from Twitter.
Oh.
There's a Twitter question from CRD Cody DeMattis. I can't say his name. Just as, how are you today? To Cody, I would like to just let you know that I'm sick. And thank you for your question. I'm sorry.
Wham City Out of Context. This is also from Twitter. Wham City Out of Context would like to know, what are your thoughts on Illbleed?
My thoughts on Illbleed are that it was
way ahead of its time. It's, of course, the classic survival horror Dreamcast game where you explore a haunted theme park. Is it the grandfather that built the theme park?
Yes, his grandfather built the theme park, and it was ahead of its time. Is probably my main point about that. And you have
to stay alive by not getting too scared. And if you're in one of those abandoned theme parks at night, or if you're in a kind of Halloween haunted house, you're going to get scared. But this game could scare you to death. That's Illbleed for the Dreamcast. I'd love to see an HD update in the same way that they HD updated Shenmue 1 and 2 for Xbox and PlayStation and the PC.
It was too scary. That was the letter. That
was the letters. Thank you so much for your questions. We are always glad to see questions, and if we don't get your question, don't feel bad. We just have a lot of them. Alan, we have a special guest tonight, don't we?
Yes.
Would you like to clue us in on who the special guest is tonight?
Oh,
it's Yooka from the classic revisiting of the 3D platformer genre.
Yes,
Yooka-Laylee.
I got it, Robby. This is my special EJ exclusive. I'm going to do an interview with Yooka from from what was it?
Yooka-Laylee.
Yooka-Laylee, the game.
And of course the follow-up, the 3D platformer Yooka-Laylee and its follow-up, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, which is, of course, the Donkey Kong Country Returns-inspired
I'm doing it.
platformer with
Yooka.
Bees.
Yooka, let's talk about that. Are you here, Yooka? What's up?
This is Yuka. What's going on?
Yuka, I have so many questions I don't even know where to begin, but I'm here. We are here in Las Vegas. What's happening in Las Vegas? Go.
Well, you see, I wouldn't really know because, after that last game with the Kickstarter, we kind of blew through all of our money, and Laylee had to kind of take some money out from the Columbos, and it's been kind of stressful. We can't really go within the city limits, or else they said they were going to break my kneecaps.
So what you're saying is Kickstarter is not easy for anyone, even a big star like Yuka.
Kickstarter, of course, Yuka. If I can kind of pull on your ear for a second there, Yuka, the follow-up to Yooka-Laylee was, of course, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. And if I could get your opinion on what you think may have made people decide to go away from the 3D platformer and towards the 2D platformer with the kind of interstitial Zelda overworld style.
Did you hear that?
Well, I think it's sort of a matter of people struggle with collecting a bunch of items in front of them. It's one of those things. It goes back to the Banjo-Kazooie days where Kazooie would just collect, one Quaalude after another. They had to kind of translate that over to eggs because it wasn't very kid-friendly. And the new generation doesn't get that. They're too busy, looking up free porn on their phones. They don't really get.
Here's the thing: I think you're onto something here. I do think, because I find that those Banjo-Kazooie, those platformers of old, had a kind of magic to them, had a value to them that maybe some of the current batch do not. And I don't think that. Why do we have to feel like we are being held back by the kind of flippant impulses of a newer generation of gamers?
Is that true?
Well, I would agree. I think it's mostly just a matter of attention span. You have all these kids doing their Fortnite dances, and I remember I heard Grant Kirkhope say one time that the next time he saw a kid try to do that L dance, he was going to drop kick them into a fire hydrant. And I had to agree with him because it's affecting children's games, where all these kids are playing these shooter games that require no attention span, and it just kind of, the whole genre is, in the shitter.
What if there was a dog named Git and a cat with a rode on the dog named Tar? Would you do that?
I don't know about that. See, if they were going to do a musical instrument, I heard they wanted to do the clavichord, but it's
so that would be like a snake named Clava, and he was friends with a turtle named Cord.
Clavichord?
Yeah. Yes. Robert Cord. Yeah.
Well, who rides on who?
It would be. Well, see, I think the turtle would have to be the one who rides on the snake, because if you think about it, a turtle going, no one wants to play as that. When you have a bear with a backpack, it's already a pretty hard sell. At least
the bird's in the backpack.
They can get away with it. Well,
what about a fish named Tron?
It's a matter of perspective. I don't know. I was pretty high at the time.
I'd like to ask you one last question, which is that your Team 17, the developers of Yooka-Laylee and Yooka-Laylee Impossible Lair, are based in the UK. Why don't you have a different accent?
Same question.
Well, that's because I'm from Tomahawk, Wisconsin originally. I moved to the UK about 5 years back, when they were starting to do casting for this game. And you'd be surprised. They have some, Kazooie in particular, she's got a pretty filthy mouth. She drops the C-bomb quite a bit. It's more of a cultural difference, I guess, that I kind of can't really adapt to, from Midland America.
Yuka, don't mean to interrupt you there, but we do have to keep moving along, but we're going to keep you here because we have, you're lucky, Yuka. Did you know that?
Do you have Tums?
I didn't really know that.
They should call you Lucky's Tale. Get it? Shit.
I do.
Because you're here just in time for an EGI exclusive look back at Summoner 2: A Goddess Reborn.
You ready?
the classic action RPG by Volition, the makers of Red Faction 2, Red Faction Armageddon, Red Faction Guerrilla, and 2005's The Punisher. Hey, Yooka.
Hey, Yooka.
Here's some more stuff that you might have missed about Summoner 2, A Goddess Reborn. Are you ready for some quick facts about Summoner 2, Yuka?
I'm as ready as I can
control
get.
up to
The
3
only
different
Volition
party
game
members
I'm really
in Quest,
into is Saints Row.
real-time combat,
Real-time combat?
travel through over 30 fantasy-based landscapes, 30 hours of gameplay, and it was a game optimized for the GameCube. So let's look at some footage of Summoner 2, A Goddess Reborn for our special EGI look back at Summoner 2, A Goddess Reborn on the GameCube.
It's interlaced.
What?
Footage interlaced.
Now, I think this is supposed to be a funny part, Alan.
Because the TV's so big.
This is quite an
If you look,
experience, I can tell
the
you.
character models are slightly too small, or the objects in the rooms are too large. So this is a gag.
Got it. It's funny.
This is optimized
something.
for the GameCube. Requires 19 blocks of memory card space, and it is a single-player action RPG.
Volition, they can always come up with something that really makes you feel that effect of secondhand weed. It's quite impressive.
Volition, of course, is the creators of the GeoMod engine. GeoMod engine games were allowed you to shoot environments
Main mast!
and create dust and debris. But not in Summoner 2, A Goddess Reborn.
See, the thing about these sort of GameCube games is that it really depends on what year you get them in, because sometimes they look pretty solid and you get your twin snakes and that sort of thing, and sometimes they look, not the greatest. But this seems all right. I give Volition credit where it's due. Their track record is usually pretty solid, I think
Thank you
of
for
Red
stopping by,
Faction or
Yuka.
Thank
We
you,
have
Yuka.
to go to the phones and take
Yuka.
calls from the viewers, but it's always great to see
Thanks.
Yuka, and we will look forward to your adventures in the future. I was such a big fan of Impossible Lair, Alan. I loved collecting all of the bees because those bees made it easier to take on the Impossible Lair.
They collected it. Yep.
Alan?
I collected all the bees in the game, the little Yooka-Laylee.
Great.
Me too, I collected bees.
Alan, we will be right back with here's some more footage of our trip to Las Vegas. Robby and Alan Resnick reporting to you live for Electronic Game Information. We are at the Level Up LVL Expo in beautiful downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a wonderful experience to be here with all of these wonderful enthusiasts. This is an enthusiasts event. It's not an industry event. It's not some sort of contrived and artificial and corporate mega event. This is the real deal. These are the real people. These are the people that bring the gaming industry to life. These are the people that made the gaming industry what it is. Alan?
Las Vegas has fun. That's the headline of the day. Las Vegas is the most fun place ever, but inside of the buildings of Las Vegas, it is a different story. There's many people. It's less of a sexy place. It's just but it's a place, and there's a fight happening. There's a big fight behind me, and I love Robby, and I'm happy to be on an adventure. Back to you. Here is dressed in weird ways. They dress like Robby and Alan, and I don't know who everyone is, but Robby is so smart, and he's been able to pick out and know every single person in the convention hall, and that is one of his amazing qualities.
Cammy from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. But the matter is, Alan, is that we did come here to try and see. We wanted some Dragon Quest, and we wanted some evidence of the world outside of the industry, the video game industry, the video game world outside of the video game industry. And those are, again, they might, when I say it out loud, when I say it to the uninformed, it might sound like the same thing, but they are, in fact, two different things.
It's a party town, it's a wild town, and everyone gets, everything here costs money, but it also, most of the time, it feels free.
We are here for one reason and one reason only, which is the experience of a lifetime, the discovery of the self after a long year of struggle and tragedy, of misadventure and mishaps. We are here pursuing the most basic human pursuit, which is the pursuit of the soul, the pursuit of the self. And I'm so happy to be here with my friend Alan, to be a part of it, to help me along the way of my journey to self-discovery. And my journey to self-discovery. And I have to say, looking around this crowd, looking at all these wonderful, unique individuals, all these people who clearly care about their community, who care about the industry as a sort of a gathering, you might want to call it. Less of an industry and more of a gathering. And so when I look around here, I don't see... I see a gathering. I see beautiful souls. I see people with masks on. I see people who are acting like their true selves, but also I see a lot of people that are perhaps on the same journey that I'm on, who came on that long hot road through the desert and found themselves here in downtown Las Vegas. And we are back, and it is time for the list. So let's open up the phone lines and let's get right into action role-playing games that I have not played. Not action role-playings that you haven't played or Alan hasn't played, but action role-playing games that I haven't played. And let's start that right off with Risen 2 Dark Waters. Of course, Risen 2, the action RPG where you play as a pirate. Alan?
You didn't play it.
I did not play Risen 2 Dark Waters, but I do find that it is an action RPG and it's fine, and I do find that it is on the list because it's a 6 or 7 out of 10 action RPG that I have not played. So let's go to the phones and let's see what we have going on. Hello, caller, you're on the air with Electronic Game Information. It's the list. Action RPGs that I have not played.
It's the list.
Alrighty. I would have to say Princess Maker on the Switch. Things happen.
Princess Maker on the Switch is of course, a 7 or 8 out of 10 game. It's not on the list, but I have not played it. So thank you for your call. And I'm wondering if you have any other, if you've played, or if I've played Risen 3, the Titan Lord.
I'll PayPal you money for water and Tums.
Thank you.
What's your PayPal? I'll PayPal you money.
No, it's all fine. It's all. These are all action RPGs. These are oftentimes budget action RPGs. And Alan, if you can just throw your weight in here and give us a little bit of a readout for Alpha Protocols.
Yeah, Robby.
Alpha Protocols
is an action RPG on one of the consoles, and Robby didn't play it. I didn't play it, so it's on the list.
And thank you for your call. We have another caller on the air. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Electronic Game Information. It's the list, and it's action RPGs. These are action RPGs that I haven't played, so this is kind of a guessing game. You're kind of guessing which games I've played or which games I haven't played, and also we're trying to sort of truncate that because there are a lot of action RPGs that I haven't played, just the ones that are 6 or 7 out of 10 scoring games.
Yes, I usually play games that are 8 out of 10 or above, like pretty much exclusively. So if I hear a game that's 6 out of 10, I pretty much just toss it in the garbage. That's not even worth 50 cents at GameStop.
Thank you for your call, and of course we are going to keep on moving down the list because we do have a lot of games to think about. Because Alan, we're going to talk now about Two Worlds 2.
Okay, we are. Let's do it. I'm on board.
Two Worlds 2.
Two Worlds 2. Is the list? Is that
the notes are?
What is? Two Worlds 2 is on the...
we have another caller on the line to talk about Two Worlds 2.
We're going to talk about it.
Two Worlds wasn't that an open world game?
It's an open world game. It's an action RPG game. I haven't played... I played the first one, but I haven't played the second one.
Two Worlds 2.
Huh. Well, I believe it was like a medieval fantasy game, RPG, but... You know, I just wanted to talk about a problem I have in general with all gaming where every game thinks that they need a run button, but I think if you push the analog stick to the very end, to the farthest limit, that should be the maximum speed of your character. You shouldn't have a separate run button. That should be used for something else. What do you guys think?
Caller, I think that's a wonderful thing to think about. I do like the pipe dream. I do like the stargazing. I do like the cloud bursting that you're doing. It's an interesting idea and a wonderful way to think about how to travel through or explore these large action RPG worlds. Thank you for your call. Next caller on the line, please. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Electronic Game Information. We are talking about action RPGs I haven't played. 6 or 7 out of 10 action RPGs I haven't played.
This is the list.
This is the list.
You have to tell people it's the list.
I told them
the game that
it says on the list on the bottom of the screen. I keep saying
hasn't been made yet.
I say what the games we're covering on the list.
You're right.
It's fine.
I'm hacking a Pokemon game.
Pokemon is, of course, not on the list. Not an action RPG. It is a turn-based, sort of collecting animal. Throw them the ball. Wrap them up in the balls and toss them at your friends, kind of game. So thank you for your call, but not on the list, unfortunately.
Would you take to the
Control, of course, is the follow-up to Sacred, the action RPG. I have not played either of them, but Sacred, I couldn't find if it was a 4 or maybe a 3 or 4 out of 10 game, but the Sacred 2 did seem to be a 6 or 7 out of 10 game, and it takes place 2,000 years before the first Sacred game. Caller, you're on there with Electronic Game Information. We are talking about action RPGs, 6 or 7 out of 10 score action RPGs that I have not played.
Yeah, what's an RPG again?
Arcania Gothic 4.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. And that was the list. You know, I do get to travel a lot. I do get to meet a lot of new people. I get to talk to people and get their thoughts on what gaming is today and what they think gaming will become. But at Level Up, I kind of felt like I was just present. And I was there with people who were just present and who were just ready to accept the things as they are and not worry about the way that things once were or the way that things might become in the future. And I respect that. But I also feel like there needs to be a greater emphasis on games like Summoner 2, A Goddess Reborn, Warhammer, Shadow of the Horned Rat, and Risen 2, Dark Waters. These games cost money to make. They employed people. And there's a weight to them. They don't just get to vanish. We don't just get to forget. It might not be Smash Brothers. It might not be. And that was Electronic Game Information's coverage of Level Up 2020 in downtown Las Vegas. We will be back next week with more coverage and more thoughts about the gaming convention that we visited in Las Vegas, and Alan will feel better. And you can, of course, send us questions to electronicgameinformation@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Send us fan art. We will look at it. Alan, we're going to wrap up. We're wrapping up.